Welcome to Fisher Philbrick, the show. This is your host, Michael, and my voice, sounds a little bit lower today because I'm actually on the tail end of a cold. Terrible, right? And I realized yet again, it's been like 2 months since the last episode, and partly I can share is why that is happening. Yeah, I'll let you know in this episode. But quick recap. We've been talking about Audyx, this new business that I created coming out of a not so ideal work environment, and then really figuring out being humbled in that, okay, I'm not going against these leaders. I want to work with the leaders to both help them, but also to help their workers. Like that, at the heart of what I want to do is to help other people in everything I do. So whether that is working in someone else's business, working in my own business, like everything I've created thus far is what? To help other people. Like I want to help you start a business. I want to help you get better at that business. I want to help you connect with friends, connect call. I want to help other people and serve other people. So that was a big kind of shift in what I was learning and what I was creating over this time span. But I do want to talk about the beta testing real fast. And then in this episode, end with what I'm currently doing now. Because as I left it off, I was 4 weeks into this new job, which was very much kind of out of the blue, and God brought this into my life, and I'm still trying to, I guess, figure out like what am I doing within this? Is this what is next for me? How do I balance so many different things now is what I'm actually just working on this week and trying to put all these pieces of the puzzle together. But the beta testing, if you don't know, is when you go through and you have this new idea and you're like, wow, an MVP, like a minimum viable product that you have, like at the very basic level, here is my business. Now I need people to test it, to figure out like, is this actually going to work? Is it going to do what it is supposed to do? Is there a need for this? What do I learn? Because anytime you create something, it looks beautiful to you. But until you start testing it out, that's when you see all the stuff that is wrong and that needs to be fine-tuned, adjusted, or fixed, or maybe you need to pivot and go in a different direction. And typically, your beta testing would be with real customers, but I also knew like I just struggle so much with the sales process, which is what I was supposed to do in that previous internship or job I had earlier this year, which is what prompted this business Audyx. So I knew I was like, okay, that's probably not going to work. Like if I'm counting on that, I'll never get to beta testing it. So I'm like, how about I ask my family and friends, like I've always done, like these poor like 15 to 20 people in my life just do everything for me when it comes to testing these out, signing up on new email lists. So thank you to them. If you're listening to this, you probably are, because you're one of the few people who at this moment are tuning in and listening to the podcast. But I decided that's what I was going to do, and I wanted to incentivize it. So I was already going to have a gift card, digital gift card, like run through in the process for when it actually went through with Audyx, of like, we've talked about this, after they take it, it's a way to reward them and to thank them, and also to incentivize them to actually take the audit. That is probably going to take about an hour of their time. So I was like, what better way to test that out as well in this beta testing? So I said, hey, I'll give $5 if you can. I thought at the time it was just a 20 to 30 minute survey, basically, that you would need to take. And all of a sudden, I thought it was going to take forever. I posted on all my social media accounts, and I checked the Google, like it was a Google form I set up. I checked the Excel sheet to see like, has anyone signed up? And all of a sudden, before my eyes, it's like updating in real time, going boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. And I'm like, what's happening? So I check on, like, I thought it was a bug. Someone like hacked me, and I checked all my emails. I'm like, does it say like suspicious report of like someone has broken in? No, it doesn't. So then I check Instagram, I check LinkedIn, nothing has been shared or liked. Like it was just posted. Well, I check Facebook, and I had 2 people share it. It doesn't tell me who it is because I don't know them. Like I'm not connected with them, but 2 random people shared it, and it just exploded and took off to where I think I had maybe 180 people. And then I just turned it off. I was like, stop it, stop the forum, stop everything. Because then I was like, I just needed 50 people. That's, I think, what I was looking for initially. And then it turned into like, I have maybe triple that amount that I can then do a couple rounds of beta testing. Like I was so excited, a little overwhelmed, but ultimately I knew that it was from God. Like there was no way that it was in my own power or strength, because I've tried so many different business ideas, which I prefaced at the top. Like, I want to help people so bad, and I want to make a living and career out of it, of doing my own business with the talents God has given me. But everything I've tried, it doesn't usually work out. So seeing that this was like going like insane in just a few minutes was like kind of the first step of within this already process of seeing like God was pushing it forward, of like, whoa, this is something from God. Like, it's not me at all. So I went forward with that, trying to figure out like, okay, what exactly do I do with all these people? And then this scary thought came into my mind of like, oh my goodness, I don't know if they're even in the United States. Like, for it to work with Tango Card, I need them in the US. Like, if I knew it was going to be international, I could have set the account up differently. But to keep things easy, I'm like, you need to be in the US. So I thought that would be a good way to kind of weed through, like, do these people actually know what they're doing? So I sent a thing like, by this date, I put everyone in an email list. Like, I need you to confirm if you are in the United States. If you are, we can move forward. If not, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't realize this was going to be a thing, because on my end, I was like, I thought it would probably take like 2 weeks to get like 20 people, not even the 50. So to see this many, I was like, I don't know where any of these people are from. And so I did that. It cut it down from, I think, the 180 to maybe a little under 150. I can't remember the times, because at this point, you guys, it was many months ago, but it was still like a good chunk of people where I'm like, okay, great. And then I think from there, we had another set of instructions they needed to do. And then it got to like, okay, here's the actual survey. It's live. Go ahead and take it. You have this much time. And then kind of reminding them as that time span went on. And so I ended up with, I think, less than 50 is what it came down to. So a lot of people went through and submitted it, but what I learned was that a lot of people were not taking it seriously. So this was actually a big learning curve, learning process, not a curve, because I haven't done it again since, but told me like, oh, when you offer incentives such as like a $5 gift card, I thought like, really, for what they're doing, like $5 is not enough at all. But it brought these random people out of the woodworks to come and think that it was an easy $5, only to find out that instead of 20 to 30 minutes, it was really like 60 minutes. So these people were not really taking the thing seriously, but they weren't taking the survey. They were just, playing it, the record button, because it's a voice audio survey. Like, you can't type it. Some figured out how you could type it, and I learned how to turn that off, because I'm like, no, the whole point is we want to hear from you and have you speak, to share your experience, to get better feedback and quality. Well, I was reading through some of the transcripts, and I see like some F words and some like, I want to kill you, and like stuff like that. And it really alarmed me at first, because I was like, what? This is what was happening in the workspace? Like, I thought my workspace was bad, but I guess it can always be worse, right? And so then I started listening to like the recordings of the few people that had some vulgar content. And it turns out they were just playing it. They were watching TV, a show, and were just clicking the record button, and it was picking up the background noise. And then it was transcribing it, because that's what the feature of Voice Forum does. They're an amazing company. Like, you guys should use them if you need them. But it really alerted me to, at first, like, oh, these people are not taking it seriously. So then I had to deal with like, how many people are not taking it seriously, and they're going to ruin the feedback and the whole beta process because of this. Like, that's tragic, you guys. Like, so sad. I went from super excited to now like, I got a bunch of garbage beta testers. And the funny thing too is that a lot of them, they seem to be from an African country, but they're in America. So they've immigrated to America, but they have a very thick, like, think of a Nigerian accent. And I cannot do it on the spot now. I haven't practiced it in a while, but during that time, I could do a pretty good, example of what it sounded like. And I was like, how weird. Like, so someone who shared it was maybe had a lot of friends that pick up opportunities, but also at the same time, I'm like, ooh, I don't want like any of these people to ever take one of my beta test again because majority of the people, and not, I don't know where everyone was from, but it was the few that did it incorrectly that I started listening to most of what they had to make sure, like, do I kick out this or do I keep it and potentially ruin the data I'm going to get? So a lot of those that did not take it seriously were had like very strong accents. So I don't know what that means because some did have strong accents and they took it seriously, and like, man, I'm so appreciative. But it did bring up this thing I didn't think of what would happen is anytime you offer some sort of monetary, you bring out people that are just in it for the money. They don't really care. And that's the opposite of everything I do is like, I'm killing myself to do things that don't make money because I want to help other people. And I will do it even if it doesn't make any money or a lot of money. And maybe that's one of my own pitfalls in life. But I was not expecting that, especially when I had been, I made a video explaining what I was doing. I sent them, a way where they could really see the heart of what I was looking to do and how them participating could really help everything out. So to me, it felt very much like you knew all of that, and then what? You were still like, I don't care, screw you. So what I eventually did was, I need to clear my throat, you guys. It's sounding pretty froggy. There we go. So I realized that, or I'm going to lose my voice because this cold that I've had, it started in my throat. So I've had like a lot of crackly voice for quite a while now. I mean, we're almost better, but I think the more I talk, the more it wears it out. But if I'm keeping it in 20 minutes, we're already past the halfway mark. So let's keep on going. But what I decided to do was that I sent an email to everyone. I'm like, hey, I'm seeing this is happening. That is not cool. If you have actually completed it correctly, then I will give you the $5 card. If you did not, and you did not take it seriously, I'm sorry, you're not going to get the payout for that. But then I also upped it and said, if you have not taken it yet, I will bring it up to a $10 gift card. Because at this point, I knew there weren't that many people. And I wanted at least like as close to 50 as possible. So I upped that, and then that seemed to help. And I also told him, like, I know this is not enough, but this is what I can provide at this moment. Like, I appreciate, everything that you can add on to, like, this was just to encourage you to help me out. I know $5 is not really enough for anything in life right now. So all in all, I ended up closing it at the time I needed to, and then I kicked out, I think maybe 5 or 6 that were just garbage responses where I was like, "Ooh, you should not have said you wanted to help me," because the heart of what they wanted to do was just get the money. And I'm like, $5? You did all this for $5? Like, nope. I probably wouldn't have unless I knew the person, or because I am entrepreneurial minded and I want to help other people. I'm like, yes, let me test whatever you have and I'll spend my own time to do that. But I got there. I did get to go through the whole step and process of, okay, here's the data, pull it out, put it into my tools. And then I created the, I guess, documents that I would need to then give the founders that I'd be working with, or the leaders, that being like a very in-depth question by question. Here were the takeaways from each thing. And then an executive snapshot of like, I know you're busy. Here is the gist of what we picked up and the main things you need to really focus on. So that came out of that beta testing. So it was actually really good I did that, because I realized like this is a lot of information, and like it's a lot for me to put in very manually, because I tried using some other AI tools and it just like befuddled and mixed up the data and like watered it down. I'm like, that's the opposite of what we're trying to do. No, we need to make sure that this is good. And that's how I built the custom GPT tools, to make sure we actually get what is being said, but we do make it anonymous and we make it so that it is helpful going forward. So that means that I would still, at this point too, if I keep going forward with any customers, if I could find one who wants to try it out, is it's a lot of manual, like copy and pasting into these reports. And I'm like, this is a lot to get through. So I'm like, founders are busy. What's quick? Here's what you can get from it. And then if you're working with myself or someone else that you bring in to implement and really go through, like you paid $10,000, $15,000 for this audit and this, look inside of your business, like let's go through exactly what was coming up and then create a game plan from that. So that is what it came down to. And from there, I was like, we're live. Like I fixed a lot of issues I found in my own tools. I think I shared this previously. Like I went through and added more QA, quality assurance, to everything. So everything that goes through my tools is going to be checked internally by the tool itself. And then I have a separate tool that is just for looking through everything again. That being that AI is great. It can be very cool. It can be very helpful, but it also makes some mistakes sometimes. So that's where I was at. And then summer was coming to a close, and I had gotten $10,000 from the business I worked at that prompted this idea. And I had a car thing that I needed to fix that took like 3,000. So I'm like seeing the bank account going down, and like this money I had to live on while I built this, and like everything was going great. Like God is pushing this forward. Yes, thank you, God. We're gonna do this as my new career, like a new business that I created. And then the bank account was still going down. I was like, okay, now we're at the point where I need to get something, some sort of job, so that I can survive and keep on living. As well as in the background is like, I still want to get married. I want to have a family. I want to move forward, not just be renting a room with my family, even though like I'm very happy and content with where I'm living right now. Like I understand this is like as good as you can get. And by the time I move out, and even if I am able to purchase something of my own, it's basically like starting over from the beginning, where like now, like my parents spent so many years making this house beautiful. Like we have routines for everything. It's great. But knowing that too, of like, I need to make money, and it's always such a push and pull, and like, oh, like, hopefully from listening to me, what I want to do and who I want to help. But for some reason, everything I want to do just does not make money. And that relates to the jobs I've had too. They just don't pay a lot of money. So at our church, they also have a school, and they were looking to hire teachers. Are always looking to hire at the start of school year to replace people who had left, who had moved, who just don't have the time anymore. And I saw one for consumer math, and I was like, what is this? So I asked the robot, I'm like, what is consumer math? And it was a lot of things about like finances, how to use your money, basically being good stewards of the money God has given you, and preparing students for their future of what they're going to hit out in the real world when it comes to money and saving and just making wise choices. And it can kind of bleed into every area of their life, because it would be seniors taking this class. So prayed about it, went forward, applied, and I not only got that job to teach that, because I was like, I just need something part-time. Like, great, I'll have a little bit of money coming in. But they also asked, well, do you have some more time? And I'm like, well, technically, yes, because I'm just building my own business, and if that's what God wants. So I ended up also on top of consumer math, which is for 12th graders, meets Monday and Wednesday. I'm teaching a 6th grade math class, which is also 6th, 7th. So it's fundamentals of math. Most of the students are 6th grade, but we have some 7th graders as well. And then PE for 3rd through 5th grade, and then 6 to 8 boys PE. So I went from, I'm doing my own thing this summer. Amazing. It's going to be so much fun. So I'm running out of money. I still can't find people to be my first customers. I guess I didn't share that too. I did purchase contacts, and like the people I was reaching out to, some of the emails were the wrong emails. And then a lot of people take me off of this list. And I'm like, oh, I'm a real person. I just want to help you. And I do not like sales, you guys. To then, all of a sudden I find myself teaching, and I have some good breaks. Technically, you guys, I am a part-time teacher, but let me tell you, what I'm doing is I'm working full-time. Like, oh my goodness, teachers, they do so much. And I know this, I knew this. My younger sister is a teacher, and you just talk with any teacher and they tell you the craziness of it, but you don't actually know until you find yourself being a teacher yourself. And I have two academic classes and then PE. And you're like, that sounds great. And yeah, it is great. So far, I have to tell you, I really enjoy teaching. Like, I knew I'd be a teacher one day. I thought, though, it'd be when my hair was gray, which I'll probably dye my hair. So in theory, when I was old and had already made money, that's when I thought I'd be teaching. But now I'm seeing like, oh, God has me here and I'm a teacher. I love it. Getting to pour into the next generation of kids is amazing, and having fun with them. And maybe I'll share it in another episode coming up, but I have so many weird random talents and gifts that I've strengthened over the years that actually work really well. Oh, you got a cough in there. Oh, I sound like a creepy old smoking man, but I've got a lot of those things that God has brought into my life that actually relate really well to working with kids and being in a school environment. So that also has been like a bit wild of like, wow, I can do a lot of, I can sing, I can dance, I can draw, I can write nicely, I can do sports and athletics, like these random things where I'm like, oh, maybe this is why. Like I can use them here. So I have so much to tell you, but the main thing as we end this is I am now not just Michael, the founder of Fisher Philbrick, and hopefully Audyx, if I can keep that going forward, but primarily how you'll find me is as Mr. White now. So no one knows me by Michael anymore. It's hey Mr. White, Mr. White, Mr. White. Oh, that's Mr. White over there. And I wasn't sure how I would like that, but I actually really like it. The one thing I'm not as fond of is some people call me Coach White. And so far, I'm not a coach. So I want to be like, until I'm coaching for this school, which I don't know if I will, I don't know if I have the time, to be honest. Like, man, teaching is intense. But I'm like, until I'm a coach, don't call me Coach White. And I haven't told anyone that because I feel like that's mean. And the kids are so cute. And I'm just like, but inside I'm like, I'm not a coach. I'm no teacher. But I have lots to share with you about teaching, but we got to end it here. So hopefully this was helpful. You know how, at this point, you know how I built Audyx, why I built it, my heart behind it, how the beta testing went. We know that it was running out of money and I couldn't find customers. That's the main thing. I don't think I explicitly mentioned that, but if I had found customers, I wouldn't be teaching. So I needed an opportunity to make money. So that got me to teaching, realizing now teaching is taking up everything, but being a part-time teacher, that comes with a part-time teaching salary, which a full-time teaching salary you might think is already not a lot. Well, cut that in half for a part-time teacher. So it still has yet to answer, how am I going to get married and support and provide for a family based on the income I'm receiving? So not saying that that is impossible, but that's what I'm praying and asking God to show me the path forward. And hence what I've been working on currently is how can I kind of package up everything with Fisher Philbrick and Audyx, maybe put them together and find a way that I can balance both of these positions, because I was almost in the mindset of like, I just need another part-time job, like go back to Starbucks or find a seasonal job at Target. And I was like, I don't actually have the time for that. And I would just be killing myself knowing that I don't want to stay as a barista for the rest of my life. Like if money was not an issue, teaching and being a barista, amazing. What a fun combo that would be. But I need to keep in mind, like, God has still put this entrepreneurial drive inside of me. And even though he's shown me, like, at least for this first season of the school year, like, my job is to learn how to be a good teacher, how to teach. Like, oh, there's so much to tell you guys about. But that is what I've been focused on, is just like trying to stay afloat is the best way. Like, if you're learning how to swim, I was thrown into a new job, a new position that is like all over the place because I'm doing so many different things. And then it's just like I'm trying to tread water and keep my head above water. But as we are now into the second quarter, I'm seeing like, okay, I'm getting a better feel for how this goes. So that means I needed to push myself back to like what I do outside of school and working on everything that, you take school with you. I dream about school. I'm on a Thanksgiving break right now. And I have dreams still of teaching the kids math and trying to help them out. And they're like, no, this is how we add and multiply and subtract and divide these fractions. And I'm like, Mr. White, you're supposed to be sleeping. We don't need to be dreaming about teaching, but it haunts you. You take it with you wherever you go. But all in all, it's great. I really do enjoy it and love it. So we are going to end it here because we just got to the good part. And we got to close it though. So I hope this was helpful, fun. You can call me Mr. White, you can call me Michael, but if you're in need of some help within your business, and I've got a cool thing to mention about that too, where I'm actually going to get paid to help someone consult with their business on the Fisher Philbrick side. Like, so so much has happened, but if you need help, let me know. I can help you with your fundamentals of math too, if you need that. But have a great day. And if you're listening to this during the week of Thanksgiving, I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.